This week on Taste Utah, we visit Este Pizza in Salt Lake City, where owner Brooke Glenn's passion for pizza is present in each slice of their pizza. From specialty pies to their famous garlic knots, or a simple classic slice of pepperoni, you can count on this local gem to bring you flavors of the big city in every enormous slice. Then we head over to State Street in Salt Lake City, where Andrew Early was eager to make his mark on Utah's food scene by opening an all-vegan comfort food restaurant when he happened upon the perfect spot and Mark of the Bistro was born. In non-COVID times, this hip bistro is hosting punk and metal shows, but for now, you can still count on them serving up delicious scratch-made vegan fare fit to satisfy any palate. Taste Utah is more than your typical food show. It's about local flavor, from roots through authentically Utah restaurants. It's the people and the places that make Utah a dining destination. There's so much soil and earth to uncover and still so many great Utah restaurants to savor. We bring you the stories and we spread the love. The best thing about Utah, the views along the way, they're not bad either. We're not afraid to get our hands just a little dirty. Food is a necessity, and it's how we create it and share it and experience it together that truly shapes our community. Whether you're choosing to dine in our dining rooms, order to go, or get delivery, you always have a seat at this table. Are you ready to taste Utah? We're in downtown Salt Lake City, 200 South, and we are visiting what is a staple of the pizza community in Utah. We're visiting Este's. Este's is known as the pizza restaurant you go to when you want a traditional New York City slice. They're going through over 35,000 pounds of dough a year. I can't wait to meet Brooke, have him give us a beautiful, beautiful spread of delicious pizza. Shall we mask up and go inside? Brooke!
Hello!
Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be here at Este's. I mean, this is literally like a little bit of a secret spot for me where I come and grab a pizza and just hole up and do writing, and so it's so fun to be able to be here now with you.
Awesome.
I can't wait to just talk about the menu and the pizza. I mean, Este's is notorious in all the best ways for being the best slice of New York style pizza in the city. Should we sit down and just kind of chat?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's do it. Lead the way, my friend.
Awesome.
Brooke, you're the owner of Este's, and as we've said many times, but it doesn't get old, like Este's is legendary. Talk to us a little bit about the process of making the garlic knots and your pizzas.
The garlic knots, we make them fresh every day. It's just our regular pizza dough, tie it, par bake it. When to order, we rebake them. They poof back up. Dress them with the garlic, olive oil, oregano sauce.
Nice.
And then our marinara, we make it in-house. It's an old recipe of the original owner, Dave. It's his grandma's original marinara recipe that we've still been using for the past 20 years.
What's unique about your pepperoni pizza, would you say?
We actually have brokers come in and shop us to pepperoni pretty often. We're pretty strict on what we'll bring in. Right now, we've been using the same one for the last few years. A problem we have is that vendors will change their product but keep the label the same.
No.
So we have to kind of be very...
You're constantly R&Ding your own product.
Correct, yeah.
Jeez Louise. That's crazy. It's crazy that that kind of happens, but such is the state of the industry, and especially right now where food chain and food supply is sort of scattywampus and all over the place. It's kind of a crapshoot, so to speak, at times. What's the classic accoutrement? Because every time you come into a pizza shop, or like I go to a pizza shop in New York, there's like, there's garlic salt, there's Italian herbs, parm.
It's not New York style, it's kind of Pacific Northwest, but for pepperoni pizza, I put honey on mine.
Oh, nice.
And everyone kind of gives me a sideways look at that, but it's amazing.
I mean, that's like flavor profile gone crazy, right? So you have like that sweet, then the pepperoni is pepperoni should be a little bit spicy, right? There should be a little
spicy,
punch there.
yeah.
What other things are you offering?
We have pretty much all the classic pizzeria things, the wings, mozzarella sticks.
People come in who are vegetarian or vegan, you've got something for everyone.
We have a whole separate vegan menu, so
no way.
really, we want to make sure that there's anything you could order on the regular menu, you could get vegan, with a few exceptions, like with the pepperoni. We can't find a good vegan pepperoni that we can put our name on.
What does your R&D process look like? Because it sounds like you really do go through with a lot of care and consistency to check in with what you're doing.
I'm really picky with what I like, and then the owner of the Park City restaurant, his name is Josh. He worked here for 10 years and then opened his own.
Okay.
So typically once, twice a year, me and him will sit down and just go over our entire menu and kind of decide what we think passes our taste test.
All different owners, right?
Yep, we're all owned independently.
How does that kind of work?
The original owner's name is Dave.
Okay.
He moved here from New York City.
Okay.
I'd worked in pizza places since I was 15 years old. So I came and started working for him, and we kind of developed like a product together. And then Josh also was there helping us. So, I mean, between the three of us, we had over 30 years of pizza experience.
That's amazing.
There was a fire actually at the Sugar House store. They closed, reopened, and I kind of didn't want to keep working for somebody. I wanted to do my own thing. So Dave said, why don't you just open another Este downtown?
The move was quick from Sugar House to here for you, but like that was years ago, right?
13 years last month.
13 years.
Yeah.
It seems like yesterday.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about COVID. How take us back to, I mean, basically March, right? When we're all finding out like we gotta close.
It was that thing where it was building and building and building, and then it just seems like, I can remember the day, it was March 16th. We got the email from the state of Utah that just says no dine-in. You can still do takeout, you can still do delivery. All of our staff was pretty resilient with it. We all kind of sat down. We had like a brainstorming idea of how to run it. It worked pretty smooth, but we didn't have the numbers that we would have liked. But it's slowly been coming back and building back up. The one thing I love about Salt Lake City and Utah in general is just more than a lot of other states, I've noticed that there's a real local business like concern in this state.
Este's is such a cool vibe, and you're doing such great things for our city. You really have been the cornerstone and heart of 200 South. It's a very cool community feel. This is very garlicky, and it's perfect. I would love to pop back in the kitchen and just see the process of like dough proofing and maybe even make a pizza if that would be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Brick, so we're back in the kitchen. You recently at Este's got a little bit of good exposure and press, right? There was a social media video that was kind of floating around. Talk to us about that day, because you didn't know that was going to be.
Yeah, so that was a friend of mine that made that video. He'd kind of seen the effects that we've just been feeling and stuff, and he made the video, and it kind of just took off. And I woke up in the morning and saw that Este Instagram had just gone wild. And so came in, gave these guys a heads up. Might be busy tonight. Yeah. And then, if we had only known, it was wild.
What's the best way to support you, Brooke?
Come in, tell your friends, kind of. We don't really advertise. That's never been our thing. We just kind of exist on word of mouth.
Yeah.
We deliver, take out, pick up,
in, dine in,
whatever.
Awesome. I love it. All right, so Brooke, we start with the dough for pizza, right? So this is dough that's been 24 hours in the process because you're making it, letting it rise. Right. Walk us through that process a little bit.
So every pizza place does it different. We pan our dough. Some people do trays. We do pans.
Oh, very cool.
So each dough is hand-balled individually, put in a pan, proofs, flour.
Nice, so it proofs in the pan.
It proofs in the pan.
Cool. How many of these little pans would you say you have in your fridge at one time?
We can make 180 of these a day.
Oh my gosh.
So each batch of dough makes 60.
60, cool. All right.
Flour it, we call it grease, but it's just flour.
Grease it up in the flour.
Yep.
And then you just kind of start teasing it.
Form the crust.
Okay.
That's kind of what separates us from some people, is you're pre-creating this crust.
And it's like you're moving from the inside out.
And you're just kind of doing little turns.
How big will this pizza end up being?
19 inches.
19.
And so a lot of people think that the throwing over the head is how you toss a pizza, but it's all just in this motion.
I mean, that's almost like leathery, that sound back
It's super stretchy.
Yeah.
And then you get to about here,
gosh.
and then it's,
There you go.
and then that's the fancy. This is more about getting it round, less about stretching it.
Okay. I mean, it almost looks translucent right there.
Yep, and then you just want to make sure it's pretty uniform and even.
Nice.
This is called a peel.
A peel, and you can still see the edges of the crust that you've sort of shaped up there.
Yep.
Super
And the
nice.
same
Go.
thing, make sure it's flat, level. So the pizza sauce is not cooked. We make it pretty much daily.
Oh, okay.
Cheese we shred daily. It's a blend of mozzarella. It's part skim and a whole milk.
Oh, okay. We have to like take a moment to acknowledge that because you could buy it shredded.
We
and
can buy it
would've been-
shredded, but they put a thing in it called anti-caking that
Yeah.
kind of gives it that gritty flavor.
Yeah,
I do pepperoni is my go-to.
I love it.
With pepperoni, we want to make sure that every slice is getting
Nice.
a good amount. And this has no bearing on it. I just call it the garnish cheese.
Oh,
Just so
nice.
it depends on that. And then over to the oven,
Okay.
and then that's it.
So now we're pulling the pepperoni pizza out of the oven. Basically, it's been in there for about 5 minutes. Through the magic of television, we've got this beautiful brown crust on it. Oh, it's like I don't want to talk. We want to hear that crunchy. Oh, and then boom, it's complete.
Yep.
Brooke, this has just been such an amazing, educational experience. I feel cooler just hanging out with you. Thank you so much for
Yeah, of
letting
course.
us come
Thanks for
back
coming
here
down.
and see this passion that you have for pizza and sharing it with all of us in Utah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're on State Street in Salt Lake City. We're visiting a location on 666 South State Street. That's right, 666. We're at Mark of the Bistro. It's an all-vegan restaurant. We're gonna meet Andrew. They're not allowing people inside for dining right now, but he's making an exception for us. We're gonna show you all the goods. Are you ready to get your vegan taste buds exposed to an array of delicious treats? Well, we better mask up first, right? Andrew, how are you?
I'm great, Katie. Thanks for joining us.
I mean, it feels less scary in here than the 666 on the door makes it seem like it might.
Yeah, excellent. We're glad you're here. I've got a whole bunch of things for you to try if you want to come right over
Yeah,
this way.
I can't wait. Lead the way. So chef owner Andrew Early, talk to us a little bit about, I'm gonna take my mask off so I can start to manja, but talk to us a little bit about why vegan food?
You know, I was pretty heavily involved in music scenes and other things that had me traveling a lot. And
Okay.
I tried all this vegan food in other states and thought that Salt Lake didn't really have something that fit the niche that I loved, which was like comfort food and specifically, comfort food that really played to the things that I missed. I wanted to be able to create a community space and, bring something that wasn't there, and I just had to do it myself.
Will you go over all of these delicious menu items in front of us?
Yeah, we're kind of really famous for our chicken. We've got just a regular chicken sandwich. It's got ranch on it, but we make it's a seitan-based chicken.
Okay.
We make the seitan all in-house. We're not quite a scratch kitchen, but we're probably 90% of the way there.
No way.
Most of the stuff we make in-house, yeah.
Wow.
We use the stone ground buns.
Nice.
Super good. And then the wings are actually one of the few things that we don't make in-house.
Yeah.
They've been around kind of forever and they're kind of slept on. I love them. These are soy-based, and so they're a lot lighter.
They're really good.
It's a lot easier to eat a dozen of them.
Okay, and then what do we have over here?
Over here we have our tofu Benedict, English muffins. We order a vegan ham that's from the same place that we get the wings.
Okay.
A slab of tofu, and it's seasoned and fried. We make hollandaise sauce in-house, that is spinach, fresh tomatoes on top, and then garnished with some pepper.
And then what do you have in front of you?
The last thing is a garlic mushroom burger. We have a number of burgers. We have a classic burger,
Okay.
a guac, garlic mushroom, and a barbecue burger.
Nice.
The garlic mushroom's my favorite. We saute the mushrooms, and we saute the beef patties in butter. The mushrooms come across super garlicky, extra good. We use the Beyond Beef base.
Okay.
And we still doctor it a lot. You know, I feel like if you're gonna have, you know, the feeling and the comfort and that atmosphere be your goal,
Yeah.
you've got to include that in the food. You have to set those goals high. We're definitely kind of a divey place on purpose. We want to be a place that you feel at home, but that doesn't mean that the food can't be elevated to a little bit above that.
Tell me the exact date that you opened.
So the build out that we had took us a lot longer than we expected.
Okay.
And we did a number of things. We were at a Veg Fest early on, like years before we opened.
Okay.
But I believe our actual opening date was, I think it's the 2nd of February.
The reason I'm curious about your exact open date is because, you know, they say that first year is going to be the toughest. You're not going to be facing anything like that. You get to that first year and it's like, dang, we're stoked. We're going to make it.
Yeah.
And then this time last year is when we start hearing inklings of like Europe is quarantining, New York City, San Francisco, they're doing stay-at-home orders, things are closing down.
I remember having those conversations with my friends, kind of joking, everybody saying like, oh, what if? And I also remember our numbers in February.
Yeah.
And it legitimately was far and away the best month that we'd ever had. There's been so many grants and so many different things that looking through these numbers has become a very big regular part of my life.
Right.
And you can see exactly when the shutdown happened, halfway through March, and our numbers just plummeted. You know, I think March we did, it's probably 60% of the business that we did in February, and then April we did maybe 20 or 30%. Eventually those numbers turned around. We were, you know, we've done hiring during COVID, which has been really interesting.
Great success story.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I think we had, this last weekend was the best weekend we've ever had, even before COVID.
Congratulations, Andrew. What would you attribute that to?
I think that people's awareness of local businesses has shot up. I think people care and realize as they see them start to go away, that's dependent on them supporting them. And then I think the other thing is just, you know, we were in a good spot to be adaptable. We do have a very small core team, and just continuing to do what we were already doing.
Andrew, this has been such an enjoyable experience. I've just loved talking to you, and honestly, I wouldn't mind if it was like the last experience of my life. No, we're gonna tempt fate here because this is you sell this here, Liquid
We do.
Death.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you and I we're gonna toast and we're gonna cheers to Mark of the Bistro, and then like maybe I'll see you in the kitchen.
Cheers.
Maybe not. I hear that you only drink Liquid Death once.
All right, Andrew, so we're alive. Here we are in the kitchen. We survived our liquid death, which is just water. Now, what are you going to make for us?
So I thought I'd make you a chopped cheese sandwich.
Chopped cheese sandwich, what is that?
So it's kind of just a really messy version of a cheeseburger. It got its start in a New York bodega. It's hoagie style and a fun mess. I love it.
Fun cheeseburger mess. That's the weight of my heart. All right, make it happen, my friend.
So these are our burger patties that we make here in-house.
Okay.
Like I said, we like to slather them with some butter. Traditionally, chopped cheeses have either peppercini, some kind of pickled pepper.
Okay.
So we use pepperoncinis, or
Okay.
pepperoncinis, however you're supposed to say it.
Pepperoncinis,
And
okay.
then onions, and they all go together on the grill. So
Okay,
first we're gonna
perfect.
cook the burger.
All right, so you're gonna put the burger on the flat top. That sizzle, I know, means something delicious is happening. How long does it go on the grill for?
So you cook the burger normally,
Okay.
and then add all of these and literally just chop it up where it gets its name
Okay.
on the burger with the spatula.
Oh,
so
nice.
it's fun. It's part of the reason I love it. So let's see, flip this guy.
Andrew, how do you know when it's done? I know that sounds stupid, but like, if you're a chef cooking an actual burger, it's gonna be the color that tells you it's
Sure.
done.
So our burgers do brown.
Okay.
Especially because of the butter, because it's sauteed almost. And so they brown. You don't have to worry as much with vegan food, which is nice. You're not
Yeah.
gonna end up with salmonella from undercooked meat. All right, so then we're gonna take all of this.
And put it on the grill.
All right, and it gets double the cheese that our cheeseburger.
Double the butter, double the cheese, double the love.
And some of the tricks that we picked up, we throw a broiler plate over there and steam the cheese.
Nice.
Vegan cheese is a little different to melt than normal cheese. Usually it's a little higher temperature, and just steaming it like that melts the cheese really, really great, and really quickly.
That's amazing.
So it takes a little bit less time.
And then you get like this great reveal as well, where you like pull it off.
Oh,
and you're
yeah.
Like, ta-da!
Now, like I said, it is a mess.
Gosh. That looks, it's reminiscent of a little bit like a Philly cheesesteak.
It's almost the burger cousin of a cheesesteak, yeah.
Got a beautiful hoagie bun. Is it just like classic white bun?
Yep,
Nice.
and again, stone ground. We get all our bread, just about all our bread from stone ground. And then it gets lettuce, tomato, and, top it with some mayo.
A little mayo. This looks so good. I would be remiss, Andrew, before we go, if we didn't talk about the name. Mark of the Bistro. This has been just such a good experience here. What is the Mark of the Bistro?
So the name came after the address.
Okay.
The address was 666, and it was just too good to sleep on. To be 666 South State Street, the heart of downtown Salt Lake. We were like, we've got to come up with something. The type of atmosphere that we have really played very well with, a little bit of evil.
Just a fun little riff on the address. I have to say, for a location that's at 666, it couldn't feel more lovely and warm and hospitable. So I'm gonna take this, my friend. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna leave you here with your Mark of the Bistro. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much.